Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and today we're going to be breaking down and explaining one of the hottest subjects in cryptocurrency right now, and that is regulation and how it's playing out on a global scale and how exactly governments are implementing it individually. So we're going to be going through some of the leading countries and explaining how exactly they are going to be seeking out their own form of regulation and what this means for the cryptocurrency world moving forward. So we're going to be going through the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and explaining what all this means without just throwing out the word of regulation and explaining it that way. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into this. So today on the list we have Japan, we have China, we have the European Union, and we have the United States, and we're going to be talking about how all of these are going to regulate cryptocurrency moving forward, because they all have fairly decided on what they want to do. Now, they have met collectively as the G20 and talking about how they want to regulate it that way, but within the scope of the G20 and what they decided, each country is also going to have a little bit of their own say on this, a little bit of individuality and how they want to regulate cryptocurrency. So it is no doubt that, of course, Japan is going to be leading the way in a very, very bullish manner, saying no excessive regulation will be done to cryptocurrency. Now, they have I believe it's a new FSA chief in Japan who is definitely for cryptocurrency, and he's been talking about how exactly he wants to protect the rights of cryptocurrency and encourage a growth really in the community of cryptocurrency. So the chief told regulators, we have no intention to curb the cryptocurrency sector excessively. We would like to see it grow, except under, and this is important, under appropriate regulation. Now, this is completely reasonable, and it's actually encouraged, at least from my standpoint. I think this is probably the best move out of all of the countries so far. He's encouraging the growth, but making sure that it's under appropriate regulation, and that's the words that you have to watch out for, because there is a lot of scams right now, and some countries are handling this more harshly, and some are handling it more lightly, like we've seen in Korea and Japan with their self-regulating bodies, as opposed to what's happening in China right now, and really the harshness that they're taking. So we'll get on into that next, but it already says that Japan has taken a proactive lead among the world's major economies by becoming the first nation to enact legislation that recognize cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin as a legal method of payment, while regulating cryptocurrency exchanges under a national licensing program. This completely makes sense. And it's very, very bullish. Now, we're not going to go through all of this just for the sake of time, but Japan, for the most part, is seeing a very, very bullish outlook on how they want to regulate cryptocurrency, and they just want to make sure that it's done right and that they're eliminating the scams, but not necessarily in a harsh manner. Now, if we're going into this and we're going to look at what's happening in China, China is taking a little bit of a different outlook on this. They are taking the more harsh road. Now, they're saying that they're allowing cryptocurrencies, but they do not want it They want it regulated very, very harshly, to say this in the least. They have been on a storm or a death path, tearing apart everything that they see to be a threat in the world of cryptocurrency. They want to eliminate all the scams, anything that is any form of illegal fundraising, any form of illegal activity, anything that they don't see fit, they have just been taking out on a straight charge. So, of course, we see China's central bank government's caution public over fake cryptocurrency schemes. If we go through some of the other articles that we have up here, crackdown continues as the Chinese authorities issue a joint warning on illegal crypto fundraising. And China is serious about cracking down on cryptocurrency. So needless to say, China is on a path right now to make sure that all forms of fake ICOs, illegal activity within cryptocurrency, and exchanges, even to make sure that exchanges are properly regulated. So they're going beyond just the cryptocurrencies themselves. They're going through the blockchain technology and through exchanges, and making sure that exchanges are working properly according to the government's expectations. And if they're not, I believe they don't even give them a chance to reconcile it. They just straight shut them down. So a lot of exchanges in China, it says it right here, more than 120 offshore exchanges of cryptocurrency have been blocked by the Chinese authorities in the morning, which is crazy. So they are not having anything to do with any BS. They are straight eliminating any threats that they see. No warnings issued. They issued their warning, and it was pretty much an ultimatum from the Chinese government saying, listen, you're either on board with us or you're off board with us. If you're not going to abide, you're going to just be blocked and banned and prohibited. So that's really the take that the Chinese are taking, and a little bit more of a probably a little bit more of a bearish intake just because of how harsh they are regulating cryptocurrencies right now. So if we go ahead and look at what the European Union is saying, it's a little bit different. So the European Union, surprisingly, as opposed to what it used to be, they are actually looking pretty bullish on cryptocurrencies. They're looking more bullish than China, at least. We know this because we've talked about this a little bit, and we've been seeing German banks and ETFs over in Europe start getting on board with cryptocurrency. You've seen this kind of revolution, I think more so this year than any other, in cryptocurrency in Europe specifically, that has kind of just been this snowball effect of people jumping on board and then more people jumping on board and then companies and ETFs, and you kind of have this snowball effect that's rolling through Europe right now. So talking about this, it says the European Union is a supranational, I hope I said that right, entity consisting of 28 sovereign countries that delegates a portion of their authority and sovereignty to its amalgamates a state-like entity, the Union, in order to improve work together towards a common goal. So talking about exactly the regulation side of this, following the request of the preliminary ruling made by the Swedish Supreme Administrative Court in 2015 regarding the proceeds between Mr. Henvist and the Swedish Tax Authority, the European Court Justice decided that they were going to pass following judgment for tax purposes on Bitcoin, reading it as a currency rather than as a commodity. Consequently, Bitcoin transactions are exempt from VAT according to the current EU laws and regulations, even though most of it, if not all the countries in the EU have a Romano-Germanic legal system, aka civil law. The binding force of the case law of the ECJ has been recognized without objection by the totality of the EU members and their states and their courts. Now, put simply, this means that the virtual currency will be exempt from VAT across all jurisdictions of the EU states. Furthering this, they said, all in all, the EU has been working hard to create an optimal normative environment that stimulates the growth and advancement of the blockchain industry, and aside from the GDPR, has done an exceptionally great job thus far. So with that being said, and them working with fintech directly, EU is a fairly bullish area of regulation, and this brings us to our last topic, which is how exactly the United States is handling their regulation, because most of you guys are probably watching from the United States and what's happening here. And of course, we know everything that's happening with ETFs right now, with ETFs getting denied or postponed until later times, and this happening a lot. I mean, of course, we're seeing the price fluctuations with Bitcoin according to what's happening with ETFs right now. But you also have congressmen working directly with cryptocurrencies and how they're handling it. So the way that the United States has their intake on cryptocurrency right now, and I'll scroll down so you guys can read through this if you want to while I'm talking. The way that the United States is handling this right now is that they are still pretty strict on ICOs. They want to make sure that they are dealt with properly and accordingly so that they can eliminate the amount of ICO scams that are out in the world right now. But they are still bullish on cryptocurrency. Of course, we've seen Congress members, or I've done videos on congressmen owning and having disclosed that they own cryptocurrency and actually working towards a more bullish state for cryptocurrencies within the United States. The United States doesn't see this as a threat, and they're encouraging the growth. They just are much like Japan, and they want to make sure it's under the proper regulation before they move forward here, and they don't want to kind of jump the gun on this. They want to make sure that they're taking their time and that they're dealing with it accordingly. So I think it's a matter of time here as they kind of ease up on cryptocurrencies moving forward. I don't think it's something that's going to happen overnight. I don't think it's going to be something that happens in the next year. I think it's going to be a gradual process between the next 5 to 10 years of them completely coming on board with cryptocurrency and not, I guess, seeing it, not necessarily not even seeing it, but more of just cryptocurrency growing out of its infancy state, which it's in right now, because it's only 10 years old. I mean, Bitcoin itself is only 10 years old. And so I think it's more of them saying, hey, let this thing mature a little bit, and as it matures, we will regulate it accordingly. So overall, most of the stuff has been bullish. Of course, we've seen China and India, which are pretty bearish on cryptocurrencies. But besides that, of course, you have the European Union, most of the countries in Asia. You have countries in South America like Venezuela, and of course, you have most of North America that are all bullish on cryptocurrencies. So good stuff coming out overall in the news. Despite the prices being down, you have progress, and progress for the most part is permanent, while prices are temporary. That's something I cannot stress enough with the market being down this much, because we have made so much progress in 2018 so far. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. It's a little bit of a longer one today, but we got a lot accomplished discussing all of the regulation that is happening in the cryptosphere right now, and hopefully we were able to cover it accordingly and properly. So as always, if you guys have any questions or concerns, do not forget to leave those in the comment section below. I am very fast at replying to those, and I will make sure I get back to you with whatever you might have. So thank you guys once again for watching the video. It does mean a lot, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. But until next time, guys, I will see you guys in the next video.